Greetings, my peeps, and welcome to the All Things Basketball Podcast with your boy GD. In this final episode for Black History Month, we'll do our player spotlight on the great and impressive Maya Moore's Irons. So we'll cover her high school, her AAU, her UConn, all her playing career. We'll cover it in this episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, guys, so we are in the midst of our Black History Month doing player spotlights. I've done 3 players already: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Oscar Robertson, and John Thompson. Well, he's a brief player in the NBA, but more notably Georgetown, coach of the Georgetown Hoyas. This player I'm doing now, I forgot how great a player she was, because she hasn't played in such a while, but when I saw the clips, I was like, wow. And looking at her whole resume as far as basketball goes, absolutely phenomenal. And even just as phenomenal, if not more, is what she's done off the court. So let's get into it, guys. We're talking about Maya Moore Irons. So let's talk about her. So let's get into it. She was 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. That was her playing weight. She was born Maya April Moore. She was born June 11th, 1989. And she was born in Jefferson City, Missouri. So, her parents, she comes from a single parent home. Catherine Moore, her mother. Her father wasn't really in the picture. His name was Mike Dabney. Actually, he was 6'4" guard. He played at Rutgers, and he was actually drafted by the Lakers in the 1976 draft in the 3rd round, 36th pick overall, but he didn't stick. So that's her father, but again, he wasn't really in the picture. Again, her mother, Catherine Moore, an educator, and she herself was a former volleyball player. So the athletic genes were definitely in Maya, that's for sure. And she had a very strong support system there with her mom and also her godparents, Sherilyn and Reggie Williams. And they too are educators, so obviously Maya's gonna be told many times that academics get that straightened out. That's for sure. Be on top of your studies. So her mom placed a hoop set on the back of their apartment door when she was about 3 years old, and that just lit the match, so to speak. And she would eventually get a real hoop set, a real one that she can work on a game on. So, but that began her love for the game of basketball. She was always the tallest kid in her class, so she always stood out. Maya and her mom relocated to the Atlanta area, actually in Lawrenceville, Georgia, she was about the age of 11. But she knew by age 15 she wanted to be a pro basketball player. And at that age of 15, you actually had the WNBA going on. So those dreams could actually be achieved because you had a women's league that was taking place here in the U.S. So Maya attended Collins Hill High School in Sewanee, Georgia, and that's in Gwinnett County in Georgia. So while enrolled at Collins Hill High School, she played AAU ball with the Georgia Metros, and that was a Nike travel team. Her team went 73-6 in those 2 seasons she was with the team. She led them to 4 national championships. In AAU, 16 and under national championship. She won that at the age of 15 years old. So there you have it right there. In 2005, and she won that in Orlando. And she was actually the MVP of that tournament there. She won a Nike national championship in 2006 in Chicago, I believe. And then she also won U.S. Juniors National Championship in D.C. And she won those back-to-back years, 2005 and 2006. So already Maya Moore winning early in life as far as on the court goes. So during her impressive run at Collins Hill High School, her teams compiled an overall record of 125-3, including 4 straight state championship runs, 3 Georgia state titles, and a national championship in her senior year. So again, Maya Moore is like becoming synonymous with winning. So along with playing basketball, she was also a track and field athlete. In fact, she was all county. She was a runner-up in the high jump, and that was in the 2005 Georgia State Championship. Their meets there, and then but she was the regional high jump champ. So again, the athleticism is there and present. So, and also she was an outstanding student, graduating during her 4 years there, graduating with a 4.0 grade average. So Maya Moore on top of her studies, that's for sure. So much so that she was one of the honorees to receive the Atlanta Journal Cup, and that's for students of high academic standards. So as a number 1 college recruit in the country, she eventually committed to attending UConn, despite overtures from the University of Tennessee. So she chooses UConn, and that she does that actually in her junior year. But she enters UConn in 2007. During her 4-year career there, she played with such players as Tina Charles, Renee Montgomery, Tiffany Hayes, Stephanie Dolson, and Bria Hartley. So let's break down her years there. 2007-2008 season, the team went 36-2. Maya set 6 UConn freshman records, including the most points by a freshman, and she also won 10 Big East Freshman of the Week awards. So that team would be the Big East regular season champs, and that 36-2 record, that's their best record since the 2003-2004 seasons. You know, those years with with Sue Bird and all of them. So she lost in the final. Well, the team lost in the Final Four to Stanford. That Stanford team had, well, of course, coached by the great Tara Vanderveer, and had such players as Candace Wiggins on that squad. So, but for Maya, she was the first UConn freshman named All-American. So coming out the gates, Maya Moore, impressive in her freshman year at UConn. Let's move to her sophomore year, 2008-2009. The team went 39-0, and from many of the interviews I heard from her, her team was motivated to come out the gate strong in the preseason, especially given the fact that it was going to be Renee Montgomery's last season, so they really wanted to send her out with a bang, and boy did they do that, guys. She's the fastest player to reach 1,000 points in school history. She did it in 55 games, guys, so impressive stuff there. Also, she would score the most points in a season in UConn history. The most 3-point goals in a game, 10. That's a Big East record right there. And let's talk about her. In the Big East tournament, she was named most outstanding player, and then in the NCAA championship, her team would beat Louisville, the Louisville Lady Cardinals, and on that team was Angel McCoughtry. So Maya also made the Final Four all-tourney team. So in year two, impressive. Undefeated season for the UConn Huskies. Let's look at her junior year. What does she do for encore? Oh, another undefeated season. In 2009, 2010, again, they go 39-0. Another undefeated season, which means another championship. So this time they beat Stanford. Stanford had Nneka Agumike. So so she was on that squad there, of course. So and she's the fifth player in school history to score 2,000 points for the UConn Huskies. So right now, she at her junior year, she was at she reached 2,000 plus, obviously. So far, Maya Moore, 2 undefeated seasons, and then a freshman season at 36-2. Her senior year. Oh, by the way, during her senior year, they ran that winning record to 90 games, which at the time was the most in NCAA history until it was broken later on with a team that went 111 games straight. Wow. So in her senior year, she went 36-2, and that win streak actually was snapped at 90 games. It was snapped in a game at Stanford. So Nneka and Wumake got her revenge, so to speak. So snapping that win streak. The UConn Huskies, though, they lost in the Final Four. They lost to Notre Dame, and on that Notre Dame squad was Skylar Diggins, who had a pretty great tournament run. Maya was named to the Final Four All-Tourney team once again. So, again, just impressive, guys. So her career numbers. Let's look at that. Her career numbers at UConn: 150-4. She played in every single game, guys. Every single game she played in. She averaged 19.7 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2 steals. She shot from the field for her career 52.5%. From 3, she shot it 40.4%. And from the free throw line, just shy of 80% from the free throw line. So her 3,036 points. That's first as far as the UConn Huskies go. She still holds that record, by the way. So she's the all-time leading scorer for the UConn Huskies, and she's 4th overall. So, and her 1,276 rebounds, that's second in UConn history. Her 310 steals, that's third in UConn history. Her 204 blocks, that's fourth in UConn history. And the 544 assists, that's sixth in UConn history, guys. So she is the first player in NCAA history, women's history that is, to score over 2,500 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists, 250 steals, and 150 blocks. So, beyond impressive, guys. And to top that off, oh, by the way, she finished with a 3.7 GPA, which led to several academic awards that she won. So already out the gate, impressive stuff by Maya Moore. So with that said, in comes the WNBA Draft. And she is the number 1 pick in the 2011 WNBA Draft. She was drafted by the Minnesota Lynx. And she is the 4th UConn player to be drafted number one overall. The other 3, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and Tina Charles. And she joins a Minnesota Lynx team that just acquired a year ago Lindsay Whalen in a trade from the Connecticut Sun. Already on the team was Simone Augustus, Rebecca Brunson, and Taj McWilliams Franklin. So already had a pretty solid team in place. They just needed that one player to come in, and Maya was that. So Maya also, upon signing her pro contract, she signed with the Jordan brand in a deal that was worth between $3 and $4 million. And she is the first female player ever to sign with the Jordan brand. So again, Maya Moore, impressive beyond belief, guys. So let's look at her WNBA career. Her rookie season in 2011, the team goes 27-7, guys, and that places her team first in the West. Let's see how the team did. The team won the Western Conference semis against the San Antonio Silver Stars, a team that had Becky Hammond on it. Sophia Young was also on that squad. So they defeated the Silver Stars. In the Western Conference Finals, they defeated Phoenix, the Phoenix Mercury, who had Diana Taurasi on that team. You also had Penny Taylor, Candice Dupree, and also DeWanna Bonner as well. So, and then also she won. Her team won the finals. So, then they did that against the Atlanta Dream, who had Angel McCoughtry on there and Lindsey Harding. So, and in the playoffs, she was the second leading scorer in the playoffs for the Minnesota Lynx. That year, she made her first All-Star team, and also she was twice named Rookie of the Month, and she is the second player in WNBA history to win a Rookie of the Year and be crowned the WNBA champions. The other player is Cheryl Ford of the Detroit Shock. So starting her WNBA career with a bang is Maya Moore. So let's continue. Her second season, the team again goes 27-7, first in the West, and they started that season off 10-0, which was a record at the time, best start to a season. So, how did the team do? They won in the Western Conference semis against Seattle, a Seattle team that had Sue Bird on it, Lauren Jackson, although she played, I think, about 9 games. Katie Smith was on that squad, and Walters and Tina Thompson as well. So, they also won in the Western Conference Finals against the LA Sparks. They beat that team, which had Candace Parker on the squad, Christy Tolliver, Aneka Awumake, Elena Beard, and Delisha Milton-Jones was on that squad as well. But they, however, lost in the finals to the Indiana Fever. That team led by Tamika Catchings, a player I have to do a spotlight on. That was, she's like my favorite WNBA player, that's for sure. And Katie Douglas was also on that squad that the Lynx lost to. And in the season, Maya didn't make the All-Star team, surprisingly enough, but she'll rectify all that before too long, that's for sure. So let's continue with our third season. 2013, the team goes 26-8. Again, first in the West. And in this season, she led the WNBA in 3-point goals and 3-point percentage. So Maya proficient from long range. She's a 2-time Western Conference Player of the Month, 3-time Western Conference Player of the Week, and her team just dominated the playoffs, guys. They won the Western Conference semis against Seattle, but this time there was no Sue Bird, or no Lauren Jackson. So they was able to sweep through them. They did have Tina Thompson there, Tanisha Wright. In the Western Conference Finals, they beat the Phoenix Mercury, which had Diana Taurasi, Candice Dupree, DeWanna Bonner, and a rookie named Brittany Griner. So, but in the finals, they were able to win that. They defeated the Atlanta Dream with Angel McCoughtry on that squad, Tiffany Hayes, and Erica D'Souza. So, Maya Moore was named the Finals MVP that season. Also, she made her second All-Star team, and she won her second WNBA championship. So, let's go to year 4. Year 4 was a crowning success. So, 2014, she wins her first and only WNBA MVP award. She got it that year. She scored 30 plus points in 4 straight games. That's a record at the time. And she did it 12 times for the season, which is also a record. So she scored a career high 48 points, which is at the time was the second highest total ever. And she did that against the Atlanta Dream. And now the 48 points is third overall. Before her, Liz Cambridge, she scored 53 points, and Raquana Williams of the Tulsa Shock scored 51 points, and Liz Cambridge did it with the Dallas Wings. So, all right, so the team finished 25-9. They won in the Western Conference semis against the San Antonio Silver Stars. This time, the squad had Becky Hammond on it, Kayla McBride, and Danielle Robinson. So they defeated them. They lost, however, in the Western Conference Finals to the Phoenix Mercury, who had Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Candice Dupree, Penny Taylor was on that squad, and Dewana Bonner. So they lost in the Western Conference Finals there. So, and that was a magical season for Maya personally. Her third All-Star appearance, and she won Western Conference Player of the Month 3 times. And her numbers for that season, nearly 24 points per game, over 8 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game. So that was individually her best season. Let's go to year 5. Year 5, 2015. The team goes 22-12. Oh, by the way, that 2014 season, they were second in the West. So, but they right that wrong in the 5th season. They finished first again in the West. So, and during this season, they acquired Sylvia Fultz in a mid-season trade. So that really changed the fortunes for the Minnesota Lynx as well. So let's see how the team did in the playoffs. Excuse me. They won in the Western Conference semis against the LA Sparks. Again, Candace Parker was on that squad. Aneka Onwumike, Christy Tolliver was on that squad, and Jantel Lavender as well. So they defeated them in the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Phoenix Mercury, but there was no Diana Taurasi there at the time. And in the finals, they finally take care of business against the Indiana Fever and beat them in that WNBA Finals. The Tamika Catchings led Indiana Fever. So Maya Moore in year 5, she gets her 3rd NBA championship. Oh, by the way, she made NBA all WNBA first team. She also went to her 4th All-Star game, a game in which she won the MVP. So by year 5, Maya Moore, very accomplished, that's for sure, with 3 championships. Let's go to year 6. Year 6, 2016, 28-6, which is first in the West. So in her first 6 seasons, 5 times they finished first in the West. Outstanding. Her team received a 2-round bye, so they only had 2 rounds to play, provided they win the semis. So they won the semis versus the Phoenix Mercury, again a squad that had Diana Taurasi back, and as well as Brittany Griner, Penny Taylor, Candice Dupree, and Dewana Bonner. So they beat them. They lost, however, in the finals in a tough series against the LA Sparks. In fact, it took a game-winning shot from Nneka Onwumike to defeat the Minnesota Lynx. And in that finals, Maya Moore becomes the all-time NBA Finals leading scorer. Which she passes her fellow alum Diana Taurasi. In year 6, no All-Star appearance. She does make All-NBA first team though. Let's go to year 7. Year 7, 2017. They go 27-7, first in the West. 6 out of 7 years they finish first. Another 2-round bye. So in the semis, they defeated the Washington Mystics, who had a newly acquired Elena Deladon, as well as Christy Tover and Emma Mieseman, and a young Natasha Cloud. So they beat them, and then in a rematch in the finals, they were able to defeat the LA Sparks in another tough series. The LA Sparks, of course, with CP3, that is Candace Parker, Nneka Onwumike, and a young emerging Chelsea Gray as well. So in year 7, Maya Moore, 4 championships now. 5 All-Star appearances, one in which she won another MVP award. And the Minnesota Lynx would tie the Houston Comets with the most league titles. So a rousing success for Maya Moore. Oh, by the way, the team that season on August 12th, 2017 against the Indiana Fever, they would defeat them 111-53, which would be the largest margin of victory in WNBA history. And in that game, they went on a 40-point run, which also is a WNBA record. So that team was, man, good to go, guys. That's for sure. And then in year 8, not such a good finish. 2018, the team finished 18-16, which was 4th in the West. That's their lowest finish during the Maya Moore regime. The team was much older now. In fact, most of your players there were 30 and above, with the exception of Maya Moore. So you had a much older team now going at it, and they lost in the first round of the playoffs to the LA Sparks. But Maya Moore did make her 6th All-Star appearance, winning MVP again. So, but that's how that season went. So those are her 8 seasons in the WNBA. She would announce via the Players Tribune, which is an online publication written by players, that she'll be sitting out the 2019 season, and she announced that in February of 2019. So a few months before training camp and the season getting underway. And then she would follow that up with sitting out 2020 season as well as the 2020 Olympics. So that's, and we'll talk more about that when we talk about Maya Moore, the person. So let's talk about what she did overseas. Once I cover that, and then we'll probably end the episode, and then we'll do a part 2. So overseas, this is what she did, guys. She played first with the Spanish team, Los Caceres Valencia, during the 2011 and 2012 season. She won a EuroLeague championship, and 3 weeks later, she would win the Spanish League championships. So Maya Moore, even in international waters, still a champion. She would go on to play with the Chinese team, the Shanxi Flame, for 3 years. In those 3 years, 3 Chinese championships, including defeating a Beijing team that had Brittany Griner on it. So, and in the Chinese league, you can only have 1 U.S. player on your squad, so you can't really stack the deck, so to speak. So, but nonetheless, Maya Moore carried her Chinese team to 3 championships. She was so beloved by her teammates, and the fans that they called her, obviously in their native tongue, Invincible Queen. And they awarded her as an honorary citizen of the Taiyuan region. So Maya Moore making an impression in China, that's for sure. So then in 2018, she joined the Russian team, the UMCC Ekaterinburg team, and she helped them to win a EuroLeague championship. So Maya Moore, once again, in 3 different countries, bringing home a championship for those squads. Let's talk about her exploits with the U.S. national team. She played with the 2010 FIBA Championship women's team, coached by her former coach. Well, actually, it's her current coach at the time, because she was still in college, Gino Auriemma. And she was actually the youngest player on that squad at the age of 21. In her tryouts, get this, she played with the national team, and then she switched over to play with the select team during the 20-player trials that was going on. And in the 4 games that she played, the 2 games with the national team, she won those games. When she switched over to the 2 select teams, she won with those as well. So 4 teams, 4 wins. And like I said, that 2010 FIBA women's team, they won the gold. They won the gold versus the Czech Republic. So they win the World Cup, and it was held, by the way, in the Czech Republic. So also on that team was Lindsay Whalen, her future teammate, as well as Sue Bird, Tamika Catchings, a rival of hers, Sylvia Fowles, another future teammate, Angel McCoughtry, another rival, Diana Taurasi, a few fellow UConn alums, Diana Taurasi, of course Sue Bird, Swin Cash, Tina Charles, Aisha Jones, and Candice Dupree, although she's not a UConn grad. So anyhow, so that was the team there. 4 years later, she would play for the 2014 FIBA women's team, again coached by Gino Auriemma, and this was out of a pool of 33 players. And eventually on that team would be Lindsay Whalen, Sue Bird, Simone Augustus, Angel McCoughtry, Odyssey Sims, Brittany Griner, Nneka Onwumike, Tina Charles, Candice Dupree, and Brianna Stewart, who would be the youngest on that squad there. And that team won the gold. They won the gold. They beat Spain. And Maya Moore actually got the tourney MVP award, and she was named to the all-tourney team. And these games took place in Turkey. So now to the Olympics. In the Olympics, she was part of the 2012 Olympic team under, again, Coach Auriemma. And she was picked out of 21 finalists. These games were held in London, and on that team was Lindsay Whalen, Simone Augustus, a few of her teammates there, Sue Bird, Angel McCoughtry, Aisha Jones, Tamika Catchings, Swin Cash, Diana Taurasi, Sylvia Fowles, of course a future teammate, Candice Parker, and Tina Charles. And that team won the gold. They beat France, and Maya would join players like Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Ruth Riley, Tamika Catchings, as well as former UConn players Kara Walters, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and Swin Cash. And all of these players have something in common. They won an NCAA championship, a WNBA championship, and Olympic gold. So Maya Moore in rarefied company, that's for sure. And then she was also part of the 2016 Olympic team, again coached by Gino Auriemma. And on this team was Lindsay Whalen, Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Angel McCoughtry, Tamika Catchings, Elena Deladon was on this squad, Brianna Stewart, Brittany Griner, and Tina Charles. So a stacked team, that's for sure. And they would win their second gold medal, again beating Spain. And these games were held in Rio de Janeiro. So alright guys, so we're going to cut it off there. That is her playing career, all in a nutshell. All that she did in high school, at UConn, with the Minnesota Lynx, what she did overseas as well, and with the U.S. national team. So when I come back with the next episode, we are going to concentrate on Maya Moore, the person. And also I'll have all her accolades. There's a lot, guys, so we're going to go through that. A few quotes from her own words, and of course what others had to say about her. So guys, just stick around. We're going to have the rest of the Maya Moore player spotlight. So, and again, if you enjoy what you're listening to, listen to the leave a review. I'm sorry, leave a review. You could do that on the website, allthingsbasketballwithgd.com, or you could leave a review on Apple. I'm on Apple Podcast. You could leave a review there, and also on Podchaser you can leave reviews there as well. And YouTube, All Things Basketball GD. You can like the video when it gets posted, and you can comment as well. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to come back with the second half of the Maya Moore Player Spotlight. So thanks for listening, of course, and we'll talk soon. So, my peeps, if you like what you're listening to, you can go to my website, www.allthingsbasketballwithgd.com. You can also email me at thatsportsdudegd@gmail.com. To support this podcast, you can go to my PayPal, and that email is thatsportsdudegd@gmail.com. Also on my Anchor page, I have a support button there that you can also use to help the podcast. I'm on all the major platforms like Anchor, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon, SoundCloud, YouTube, Castbox, Radio Public, Podchaser, just to name a few. And also you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Clubhouse, and Fanbase. So once again, I thank you for listening and supporting this podcast, and take care and be safe.